Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to start with the nation. 2027, why Jonathan won't run. Emerging economy models our goal. Judiciary is on trial, says the Federal High Court Chief Judge. Police to arrange Showore for false publication and forgery September 15th. China's $1 million for flood relief. Kano government raises panel to probe Ganduje. Ondo bans graduation of primary pupils GSS 3 and 104,000 minimum wage excites Imo workers. Federal government and ASUU talks raise truce hope. Okay, which story are we starting with in the nation?
For whatever reason, the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology in Ondo State, Professor Igbekele Ajibefun, has announced
that's the story you like to take. I just saw it now.
Before,
although I agree,
okay, yeah, so they have banned abolished the graduation ceremonies in nursery schools and junior secondary schools across the state. The state after my heart. He said he made it known yesterday at the stakeholders meeting with proprietors and owners of private schools from 18 local governments across the state. He said the move was a deliberate step to regulate and sanitize school operations to reposition the education sector to its former enviable pedigree. The ministry has made some of these critical changes that they must all conform with. He also said that private schools played a critical role in education, but noted that things are deteriorated, requiring urgent reform. So this join all the private schools within
this is similar to what we said recently with the prom. So schools and local government and state government taking charge of their schools. Yeah. So this is fantastic.
Regulation.
Because
they're making money.
They overdo it. For primary school. What are you graduating? They start buying a grad gown. Another story in the nation.
Okay. Go on.
Okay. So the federal government's efforts to bring succor to flood victims in the north received a boost yesterday as the Chinese government donated $1 million to the relief fund. I just hope this will go round. Signing the exchange notes on the financial support with the Chinese ambassador, Mr. Yun Dunhai, in Abuja, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, State Abubakar Bagudu, expressed appreciation for the humanitarian gesture of the Chinese government. He noted that it signified the growing cooperation between the two nations in trade, infrastructure, technology, agriculture, and now disaster relief. He also said that both nations recently had suffered they've both suffered flood disaster this year. So he knows that China sympathizes with Nigerian government and the Nigerian people that went through this, and that they hope that they would go through a transparent framework, leveraging past experiences and unified templates, which will guide the process to ensure that the assistance reaches the intended beneficiaries. Let's hope that it's done that way, that the people this money is actually meant for, that it gets to them.
So our president met with the diaspora, Nigerian diaspora living in Brazil. If you recall, he was still in Brazil, and he said that his administration is determined to bring Nigeria to the forefront of Africa's progress. He said we must bring Nigeria to the forefront, and also that they must replicate what Brazil did. He said that he promised that the government would replicate the success models of emerging economies, including those that led to the transformation in Brazil. He also said that we must strive to attain the same height this South American country is today. So once upon a time, Nigeria and Brazil stood at the same level. But look at Brazil today, its technology, its food systems. We must ask ourselves, what do they have that we don't? We have the brains, the technology, the youth. We have everything we need. Now we must act. According to him, also said the president hailed the vibrant Nigerian diaspora community as key stakeholders in the nation building, urging them to channel their resources and expertise into driving innovation, culture, and shared responsibility. So I'm happy that anytime he goes to different countries, he always meets with the Nigerian diaspora community and then tries to appeal to them to make them understand what he's doing. And I'm happy that, sometimes when we look at the West, as in the US, UK, Canada, we always forget that there are other economies that are actually similar to ours with culture, language, vibrancy. So we can actually learn from them. And I'm happy that we're learning from agriculture, technology, and food systems, which is really important. We'll see how that goes.
I took the Bauchi State Governor, Bala Mohammed of the People's Democratic Party, who has said he has put his presidential ambition on hold. The PDP have zoned the presidential ticket to the South for this year. So he is saying, for progress, he has put his own ambition on hold, and is begging all other politicians to please, that he has served in many places. He served his governor.
This is Jonathan speaking.
No. This is Bala Mohammed, the Bauchi State governor. So he says in his words, my ambition is not bigger than Nigeria, and certainly not bigger than the party. If I don't become president, I have had many positions in the past, and I am grateful for that. I am satisfied with the resolution, and I was part of the discussions, blah blah blah. I don't want to read everything, but
okay, all right.
So that's like advice to all the politicians, because I can see some all run to one party, and now they're going to be fighting.
But waiting, there's still time.
Sheathe your swords. Put one person
exactly,
forward.
yes. Okay, let's move on to the Punch strike threat. ASUU VCs decry professors 525,000 naira monthly pay. Lagos man killed in fight, suspect arrested. Nigerians spent 1.3 trillion on petrol in June, says NMDPRA. Jailed monarch Osun to obtain US court judgment. APC monks ADC over chairmanship tussle. 2027 party members can challenge Tinubu, says APC. And Jonathan demands credible INEC chair, decries defections. Okay, which story? Let's take one story for the break.
I have the Osun story. So the unconfirmed, because now the government is denying, the United States government had sentenced the Akpe Tumodu of Ikpe Tumodu, that's Oba Joseph Oloyede, to prison over a multi-million-dollar COVID-19 relief fund fraud that he did. And the 62-year-old, who is a dual citizen of Nigeria and the United States, was sentenced on Tuesday to a 56-month in prison in a U.S. district by a U.S. district judge, and he was ordered to serve 3 years of supervised release and pay the sum of $4.5 million in restitution back to the government. They said he forfeited his house in Medina, Ohio, a home that he purchased from the proceeds of the scheme, as well as a $96,000 traced to the fraud, and he was convicted for leading the conspiracy that exploited the people of the US.
Really
but
sad.
Then they now interviewed the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters, Dosun Babatunde of Osun State. He said that they don't used to act based on social media reports, and it may be true, that the monarch has been convicted and jailed, but there are no official records until they obtain the CTC of the court judgment.
Let the US send it to
so
them.
US will now send it. I'm wondering, this is enough to raise question about the character of a monarch. You are the one that will investigate and make sure you find this
and give us information.
Who's supposed to come and give you
I don't. You should be updating the people
CTC.
that this is what we
social media. Okay.
Where will he now find
Let's
this?
go on a break.
The public record.
Back. Trump will send it to them. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Who has a story?
So amid rising energy costs, Nigerians spent about 1.3 trillion on buying premium motor spirit as petrol to power their vehicles and electricity generators in June, as consumption across the country reached 1.44 billion litres, according to the latest data from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authorities. Nigerians consume more petrol than any other fuel, and as a nation battling an unreliable power supply, a larger percentage of the population depends on petrol for self-generation. So they said following the removal of petrol subsidies 2 years ago, the amount Nigerians burn on fuel now rose to an unimaginable high. I don't know the way forward with this thing. The only thing is that let's have more power. But Engineer Jennifer now, they've really, she's done 1 year in the office, and I heard that they've really generated more, I think 600 and something more kilowatts of power. So I hope they will do more in the next coming years.
So let me take the update on ASUU. So ASUU are set to hold, they had a meeting on Tuesday, and I think today there'll be a meeting with the federal government to address the long-standing agitations over the implementation of the negotiated 2009 FGN-ASUU agreement, which triggered nationwide protests across the universities on Tuesday. The administration had released 50 billion naira to settle earned academic allowances owed to university lecturers and staff. However, ASUU has consistently demanded clear commitments on the improved salaries, conditions of service, university funding and autonomy, and the review of laws governing the National University Commission. The meeting is expected to be attended by Dr. Tunji Alausa, who is the Minister of Education, and the Minister of Labour and Employment. Government sources in the Education and Labour Ministries told The Punch that today's discussion should focus on reconciling the 2024 December original agreement of 2009. If you recall, we had that conversation during that time, and the subsequent recommendations, including the Nimi-Briggs report. Also on the table is how to phase the fiscal commitment into national building and produce a legally binding instrument for signature. Really and truly, I just hope that government comes to be sincere this time around. You know, you make promises, it's important for you to make up those promises. Moving on now to Daily Sun, or we're still doing Punch?
Oh yeah, we're doing Punch because the fight, there was a fight here in Ebute Metta yesterday, the Mandelas area. Apparently, one guy, they were fighting over market money, and then one stabbed the other, and it became a tribal war. Here in this paper says the Igbo guy stabbed the Yoruba guy, and then the crowd converged on him. In another story, is they lynched one. Anyway, whoever it was, I don't want to make it a tribal thing. It started as a tribal. They started stabbing innocent people.
Wow.
The police have it under control. At least 5 people died. They lynched one tribe, lynched the other one. And
so I have that same story. 5 people have been confirmed dead. So the 2 people fighting stabbed each other, and then one was killed, the other one
was lynched.
But the son has it in different accounts. So eyewitness account says that one stabbed the other, and the other one took what he used to stab him and stabbed him to death. And then so later he too died. 2 of them died. Then because of the tribal pandemonium that followed, 3 other people were confirmed dead. So as the story is reporting this morning, 5 people 9 died.
Yes, that's what I said. 5 people died, and what happened was they started stabbing innocent people. The people passers by.
In fact, one of the eyewitnesses said that there will be more deaths because there are a lot of wounded people in hospital now.
Wow, really
it's really terrible. And you see, this rhetoric is why I even think we should highlight this story. This rhetoric is the politicians that have caused this nonsense. Let us sheathe our swords and live in harmony.
Simple. Nigeria. Daily Sun, 2009 deal, FG moves to avert ASUU strike. Banks face capital discipline test as CBN's grace window narrows. 8 feared killed in the Lagos market crisis, we just talked about that. Tinubu pledges tech-led growth. Food security urges diaspora to build Nigeria's future. I took that story already. 2027, Ohaneze dismisses no Igbo presidential candidacy story. And Igbo okays 104,000 naira as minimum wage for workers. Okay, which story? Okay,
so Ohaneze Ndigbo Worldwide is a social-cultural organization of Ndigbo and not a political party. As such, Ohaneze is not in a position to say, dictate, or even advise or even advise on who should or should not contest elections in Nigeria in the 2027 election or at any other time for that matter. This is in line with the fact that there's a communique that came out and said that the Ndigbo has said that no Igbo person should run election in 2027 election, and then they are stating now that it's fake news, is not coming from them, and it is a lie. That any Igbo person who belongs to any political party and wants to run for election, the upcoming 2027 election, please feel free to do so. Any publication coming otherwise is not from them.
Okay, so who has Imo? Congratulations to Imo workers. Governor Uzodinma has raised the minimum wage from the approved national one of 70,000 to 104,000 naira monthly. And there was jubilation across the state. And then he did a special announcement for medical doctors. Medical doctors will now have their minimum wage starting from 508,000 naira monthly. Other health workers still fall within the 108,000, but for medical workers it starts from 500. I beg.
Need to clap for him.
This is my doctor uncle. Relocate. And let's go and start working in Imo State. But he announced this, and he also caused jubilation even among pensioners, because he had earlier announced for the pensioners. He is basing it on
So, the reason why this story is so important, because we keep saying, point to your governors, because they have increased their allocation. From the center, what they're giving your governors is much more. They've removed subsidy money. Also, they've also encouraged governors to increase their IGR. So this is a government that says, I have the heart of the people, I'm going to increase your salaries.
Show working, not only that, the state debt reduced from 280 billion to 100 billion.
Exactly.
From this subsidy removal. So all your governors should show working.
Yes. Exactly.
Me and my governor.
Can't talk to your governor.
Who is your governor?
Governor Pawulo of Edo State.
And
my local government chairman.
That's
no,
why
you can everybody can have their issues, but their stutters and all of that. We all speak English, is not our original language. But this local government chairman of Vesako West local government, I'm waiting to come when I come home to see the streets. If I see any street unattended, even the House of Assembly member, who is my cousin, don't have problem.
All right. Any other story? We have to move on. Punch. Okay, move on quickly now to Vanguard. Let's see what we can take. 762 Nigerians killed by kidnappers in 1 year, says report. I await full briefing on Kaduna Abuja train disaster, says Tinubu. Voter apathy aids bad leaders. Khan warns Nigerians. Let's see. Let's find it. So Jonathan slams defections, seeks electoral reforms, and zoning causes rumpus. PDP intensifies move to woo Jonathan.
Let me just quickly take this data. SB Morgan, SBN Intelligence, a geopolitical research firm, has said no fewer than 762 Nigerians were killed by kidnappers in 4,722 abductions within the last 1 year in Nigeria. The research firm says that that kidnappers had demanded over 48 billion naira from victims and their families during the period of June 2024 to June 2025. That's a lot. They now said that this kidnapping thing is now a big commercial this thing, so that people should be careful. The government needs to come into play and then stop this thing, because all this money is being wired somehow. 48 billion.
It's an industry, it's an economic industry.
Yes, so it went through somewhere, but it did not go through thin air.
Yeah.
So it can be traced. They should follow the money.
So the major headline, PDP is weighing Jonathan to become the presidential flag bearer for the 2027 election, especially now that they've zoned the presidency to the south. According to the Vanguard, some PDP leaders were said to have gone to meet Jonathan to try to appeal to him and put a bit of pressure for him to come forward. And he's saying that he's still consulting. He has not made a decision yet, but a lot of Nigerians are hoping to see that he might be the flag bearer. Like, if anybody's going to defeat President Tinubu, it may be a Jonathan for the PDP. So we'll see how that goes. The politics are growing up and it's boiling up, and we'll see how it happens.
Yeah, okay. He also made a statement about his criticizing the defections. He's saying the new when they are choosing the new electoral head, they should involve civil society, the judiciary, trade unions, among others, to appoint a credible head of the electoral system, so that there will be none of this. And you know, he has the mouth to talk, because he handed over, he didn't do any mago during his own time, during the elections. So
we'll see how that happens.
And that people, the electoral body should be in charge of defections. But when you defect, you lose your seats.
Yes,
I totally agree with that.
I totally agree with that.
I totally agree with that. This defection,
the people that brought you in,
too much.
We have to run. That's all we can take on front page review. When we come back, we move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.